ACC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by MFS Investment Management, a diverse range of products so advisors can choose what fits. As you look at the fountains in Centennial Park here in Atlanta, I'm not sure how we can top the first game's excitement as Florida State journeys to the ACC Championship for the first time in their history. And let's take a look at our food line starting lineups. First for the Maryland Terrapins, playing out of the 7th seed in this tournament, Landon Milbourne, Dave Neal as the forwards. Of course, Sean Mosley has excelled as a guard, as a freshman coming off the bench, and now he's in the starting lineup. Gravis Vasquez, almost a triple-double last night against Wake Forest, and Adrian Williams. Tournament Devils of Duke, and of course come out of the 3rd seed 10 times and won 3 ACC titles. They're bidding for another one today. Kyle Singler off a career-high 26 last night in the 1-point win over Boston College. Lance Thomas joins him up front. It'll be, of course, Gerald Henderson, who had an excellent ball game last night with 16 points in the game-deciding basket. Elliott Williams and John Shire, your starting lineup for the Duke Blue Devils this afternoon.
A couple of things, Steve, that Gerald Henderson got in early foul trouble in the first half and wasn't much of a factor. As a result, Duke really struggled offensively. And for Maryland, they're the only team that played on Thursday in the semifinals. It'll be interesting to see how the 3rd game in 3 days plays on their legs.
Gary Williams, of course, won Coach of the Year honors in this conference before, and of course so has head coach Mike Krzyzewski of the Duke Blue Devils. Two veterans going after each other. One in their 29th year at their school, that's Coach K, and of course Gary, 20 years at Maryland. Vasquez gets the opening tip, and we're underway. Duke won both regular season games. They slaughtered Maryland in the first game at Cameron, 85-44, and won by 8 in the second. All knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Maryland ball.
And interesting for Duke, they're defending the flex offense, but 2 variations of it. BC last night running a much tighter variation. Then, of course, Maryland will run a more conventional flex and try to get things more on the perimeter with a small team, but similar styles.
Landon Milbourne creates some space between himself and Singler and misses. The rebound comes away. It's taken by Singler, and we're headed down to the other end of the court here for the Duke Blue Devils. Elliott Williams, his insertion into the starting lineup has produced a 6-1 mark. Singler boards his miss. Vasquez has the rebound. Maryland runs out. Bowie on the lay-in.
We've seen this is a smaller team for Maryland. Rebounding a priority, which they did well on that time, but they are very opportunistic. They will look to get out and run in the open floor. Vasquez loves to handle in the open court.
Shire and Singler will bring it up. Bowie will put some pressure on in backcourt. Florida State has upended North Carolina, the #1 team in the country, to move to the championship round tomorrow afternoon against the winner of this game.
What a breakthrough year for that program, Steve. Just a lot of individual accolades, but more importantly, getting to the NCAA tournament and playing in their first ACC tournament final.
Henderson's miss is boarded here by Milbourne. You talked last night, Mike, about Milbourne's transformation. He's had to, really. He's increased his point output. He's had to become their chief low-post threat.
Well, and at least in this game, there's not a huge body that he has to guard at the power forward position. He's gotten in foul trouble, and he's gotten worn down as a result.
Milbourne at the elbow will take it in on Singler with the left hand. Rebound comes to Bowie in heavy traffic. He invents the shot that misses, and we have a jump ball possession arrow Duke. Duke survived Boston College last night in a 1-point war between those two, and a chess match between Mike Krzyzewski and Al Skinner. A great game to watch.
It wasn't war. Every possession, every square inch of the court was fought over. It was a terrific defensive game to watch.
Shire using some Lance Thomas screens, finds Williams with a miss. Dave Neal comes away with a rebound.
A couple of early, long jump shots for Elliott Williams in 2 possessions.
Here's the jumper now from the corner, and it's going to be Bowie for 3.
This would be characterized as an early wake-up call by Mike Krzyzewski.
Takes the 30-second timeout and calm the troops down here. As far as Maryland is concerned, Bowie, we saw his best game at Miami.
Yeah, no, he had a wide open look at the basket too. Only 23% from downtown, but was able to get a good look at it. And Mike Krzyzewski's not happy with the way his team is performing here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Especially on offense. Fans, get your cell phones ready. It's time for our interactive feature called the Verizon Wireless Text of War. We want your answer to this question. Who will lead his team in the most stat categories? We've picked a couple of good ones. Gravis Vasquez of Maryland and Kyle Singler of Duke. To vote, text A1 or A2 to 55333 right now. And we'll update the results later on in the half.
Yeah, last night we talked about it. Vasquez, 22 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. And Singler, 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
Wow. We talked about Vasquez coming close to a triple-double. Singler was not that far away. Elliott Williams. Should I take this third shot or what? Gets to the baseline, misses. Thomas tries to get it and is fouled on the second attempt. And we go back to those two players, Gravis Vasquez and Kyle Singler, and show you their numbers on the season. This is what you're shooting at tonight. 22 points in the quarterfinals. Took 19 shots to get his 6. For Singler, 26 on a 10 for 15 night, tying a career high.
Yeah, we talked about it. Vasquez has not really shot the ball extremely well from the field this year, or from behind the three-point line, but solid at the free throw line.
On the line right now is Lance Thomas. Thomas Jr. out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey, has really played a big role here as Mike Krzyzewski's moved his lineup around here in the last 7 games. Takes both free throws. They put a press up. Vasquez in trouble. Tries to dribble out of it and does. Having survived that, Maryland now sets up in their offense. Mosley pops out. Milborn underneath is trying to get position on Shire. Shot clock's under 10. Huge screen by Neal. Thomas switches out. Vasquez scores the banker.
Right, that was all set up by Neal, and Duke knows about the screens that he can set. Nolan Smith knocked out for a few games because of a massive back screen up at College Park. But that time he was able to get Vasquez the corner, and he capitalized.
Here comes a shot by Gerald Henderson, his first attempt of the game. Neal gets the rebound for the Terrapins, who lead 7-2. These two teams matched up against Florida State. Duke beat Florida State twice in 2 close outings. Maryland lost in overtime at Tallahassee. Bowie blocked by Singler. It'll be Maryland ball. Let's launch Dave Neal in action.
Yeah, here he is, and this just allows him to get around the corner. Thomas just doesn't have the foot speed to get out and move laterally.
Inbounds Neal, catch, shoot. Bowie can't slap it back up and in. Singler gets the rebound. And we got a jump ball, so possession arrow goes to Maryland, and they maintain. Eric Hayes getting ready to check into the ball game now for the Terrapins. He had 21 on the opening night of the tournament to help Maryland get past NC State. Last night he played a much different role, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Looking at the world scoreboard, Mississippi State advances to the SEC final. And Ohio State is a winner. Hayes out front with Shire on the defense. Vasquez draws Singler. Vasquez spins, stripped of the ball, but he traveled. Got a break in the action with 15:49 left to go in this second semifinal of the day. Maryland out in front of Duke by 5. Maryland leading Duke 7-2. The Blue Devils still looking for their first field goal. Of course, when you look at the Blue Devils box after any game, 3 names emerge to the top. They certainly did so last night against Boston College. Kyle Singler led the way with 26. John Shire with 14. Gerald Henderson 16, including the go-ahead basket with about 10 seconds to go.
And the guys in the bookends of that really did the same thing. And Singler held them in offensively in the first half when Henderson was out, and then Henderson in the second half came alive and energized his team.
Maryland now starting out in the man-to-man. Henderson hands the first field goal of the game for the Duke Blue Devils, and they quickly are back into this thing.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see much zone out of Maryland in this game. They tried that in Cameron to ill effect. And this is a much better perimeter shooting team than Wake Forest.
Vasquez heads to the baseline, gets trapped. Can he get out of it? Hayes bails him out. Thomas guarding him. Nolan Smith into the ball game now. He catches Milborn. Ball stolen by Smith. In a foot race with Milborn. And the return is put up there by Singler.
Yeah, he does a great job of chasing down the play. And it all started with Nolan Smith, who made a nice defensive play on Eric Hayes. A little bit too much over dribbling on his part.
7-6, Maryland in the lead. Vasquez. Duke switching like they did last night. Vasquez flicks one out there on the fly. Singler boards the miss. 4th rebound for Kyle Singler already. Henderson. Screen from Thomas. Mosley is there, gets into him, takes the shot short, no foul. Rebound Singler. He'll just throw it up for grabs. Vasquez picks it up. 3-on-2 break. Now 2-on-1 for Mosley, and a foul on Nolan Smith.
Yeah, here is that screen that full trot. Just got here. He had no idea this was coming, and he was out on the floor.
Sat out 4 games because of it, and returned for the first time in the tournament against Boston College. Mosley on the free throw line where he hits his first. In Maryland, you're looking at the #1 free throw shooting team in the ACC.
Yeah, they just don't get there a ton as a team, but shoot a very high percentage. But Mosley, one of those guys you like, Steve, and the coaching staff loves him. He comes up with a lot of those 50-50 balls. If they're out, if it's up for grabs, and more times than not, he's going to come up with possession.
Got 4.5 rebounds in his first 2 games. He comes out. Adrian Bowie checks back in. He hits a pair. Brian Zubek is in the Duke lineup now. They got some size. Greg Paulus is in as well. Maryland pressing full court. Seeing eye pass there. Nolan Smith at the foul line for 2.
Felt comfortable taking that shot because he had Zubek under with pretty good rebounding position.
Vasquez runs up quickly and gets the runner to go. He's got 4.
Play that's not going to make the Duke coaching staff happy because most of their defenders never got over half court on that rush up. Everybody was back.
Henderson, and now we have a screen. An illegal screen, a foul coming up now on Brian Zubek. That's going to be his first. Team foul #1 on Duke.
Here's the way you see clearly moving that hip out. You must remain stationary. Let the guy with the ball use you.
Davis Vasquez helping the officials mop up the floor. He says, I got flapped right there. Vasquez will play huge minutes. Now, in one of the games, the second game against Duke, Vasquez was restricted because of foul trouble. The first game, he went only 1 for 10.
That was a big flap and talking a little junk before going down to Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Neal from the corner for 3. Goes up behind the backboard. If you think that's a foreign shot for Dave, guess again. He's 14 of 23 in the last 5 from beyond the arc. Closed captioning for today's telecast provided by Bojangles. You've got to want to need to get ahead of Bojangles.
The thing about Vasquez, Steve, you can't take that passion away from him. Sometimes he gets a little too outspoken on the court and sometimes off the court. But Gary Williams loves him, and he has had a terrific season this year.
Singler on the way in. And he gets fouled by, it looks like, Dino Gregory. Gregory's had a solid tournament.
Yeah, he's a tough cover for any power forward because of his ability to put the ball on the floor. And Gregory came in and gave Maryland a nice lift off the bench last night. A couple of offensive rebounds early.
He's had a pair of 6-point performances against both NC State and Wake Forest. Sophomore from Baltimore. Singler hits the free throw, has 3. Back in the ball game. It's going to be John Shire for Duke. Henderson has a seat. And David McClure gets his first bit of action for the Blue Devils. Braxton Dupree enters the Maryland line.
It seems that when McClure comes into the game, good things happen for Duke, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
You mentioned the 2 rebounds that 2 games of double-figure rebounds that he had. Of course, one of those games against Miami had 13. Didn't score, I don't believe, but those 13 rebounds turned into a lot of possessions for Duke.
Interesting here early on that Greg Paul is getting minutes with Elliott Williams on the bench.
Here's Bowie for 3. Rebound comes to Gregory. Resets Bowie, who misses. And the ball lost out of bounds by Maryland. Paulus played a minute last night against Boston College. And there he is. Greg Paulus with 5 starts this season. 100 in his career. One of those 5 starts was against Miami, and it was his season high of 18. Dupree gets a quick exit. Milborn comes in.
He injured that right forearm in a game earlier in the year, Steve. Montana, I don't know that he's ever got up. He's worn that sleeve the whole year, the whole season, and I don't think it's a case of him getting used to it.
Nolan Smith to the foul line. Shot doesn't go. Look at Singler come in for the rebound, and he'll put it off, but he'll get fouled.
But even on that play, Steve, Singler gets the rebound and is going to the line, but McClure was the one who kept it initially alive on the tip. Here's the shot going up, and there's McClure keeping up, and because he does that, Singler fouls right behind him. Again, just one of those little things that's never going to show up on the stat sheet, but McClure's added value gives.
3rd team foul on Maryland, and the first on Vasquez puts Singler on the line. He has 5. Duke 3 of 13 from the field, but 5 of 5 from the stripe. Singler on the season. On the line, 71%. Duke in the lead for the first time this afternoon, albeit by 1. Florida State waits for the winner. Hayes. Ball stripped away from him. He'll throw it away. Singler will try to recover it. 3rd Maryland turnover.
Real surprise run and jump at the half-court line by Duke. Caught Hayes unaware.
Paulus falls, but wait, there's a travel call, no basket. Paulus slipped as he went to change direction.
I think he was trying to argue that he got the pass off before he hit the deck, but just kind of hit a little wet spot in the middle of the paint.
Vasquez. 8 minutes gone in this first half. 1-point lead for Duke. Gregory dealing with Singler. Gives up the dribble. Here's Hayes. McClure on him. Hayes gets the jumper away and bags it.
Tough individual shot. Pretty good defense by McClure, but it was just trumped by a better shot.
Not like Boston College did last night. Duke doesn't want Hayes to get any freedom to hit threes. He hit 5 against NC State in the first round. Here's Smith. Shire in the corner. Vasquez runs at him. The 3 is good.
Every shot that Shire took last night was from behind the arc. 4 of 9, both categories. Nice little step back. He used the pump fake very well on that play.
Duke by 2. Vasquez to the baseline. Changes direction and gets... No, he stepped out of bounds. Vasquez on the turnover. Well, line up, get your favorites, and settle down with a hot dog and popcorn and watch ACC basketball from Raycom Sports. Well, here's how Duke arrived at the semifinals. Their 39th appearance. John Shire with a big shot, and of course, Kyle Singler had a big night with 26. Gerald Henderson with a game winner that put Duke ahead. And then the final possession by Boston College, a three-pointer by Rakim Sanders that missed the mark. And Duke prevails, and they go on to the semifinals. Maryland's journey had an extra step in the appearance here Thursday. NC State and Wake Forest have fallen, and for the 3rd straight day, they're taking on a North Carolina-based school. Shire at the top. Mosley on him. McClure comes out to get it. Nearing the midway point of this first half. Duke by 2. Shire Shot clock at 1. Singler at the buzzer. And the rebound comes away to Eric Hayes.
Pretty good job defensively by Maryland in the half-court set. Singler forced to take a very tough shot at the buzzer.
Maryland trying to tie this one up. Hayes does it. We got a whistle and a foul underneath, and it's going to be on Eric Hayes after the shot. Gary Williams not happy. Hayes picks up his first. Team foul number 4 for Maryland. Shire comes up in the front court now for the Duke Blue Devils. Henderson on the wing. Okura sets a screen into the corner. Here comes the 3. It's Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I think right now other guys are going to have to step up, really concentrating on Henderson and Shire, and that's going to leave Nolan Smith with some open looks out on the perimeter.
18-13. Duke in the lead. Gravis Vasquez. Off to Hayes for 3. Okura with a key rebound.
To this point, Steve, Duke has not been able to manufacture any kind of points out of their defense. Not a lot of turnovers for Maryland. They've been getting shots, haven't been making shots, but been getting looks at the rim.
Henderson works his way to the middle, takes it at the elbow. He likes to fade a little bit on his jumpers in the lane.
Yeah, I'd like to see him try to attack the rim more, get to the line a little bit more than he does.
Ball saved out of bounds, but not in time by Shire, and it's going to be Maryland ball. Our Principal Financial Group edge of the game is coming up next. Second chance points. Well, it belongs to Duke. They've got the edge there, 6-0. This is a Duke team that, as far as rebounds are concerned, they're number 8 in the ACC. Maryland number 10. Vasquez gets a rest.
And that being said, though, I see the thing with the zone last night with Maryland, it really negated the size of Wake Forest, and then they had to react and go small at the end of the day. He didn't really get hurt on the glass.
Milborn misses the 2. Ball knocked out of bounds. You know, Milborn has been rock solid steady against Duke this year. He has 2 games of 19 points and 5 rebounds. He was the only one hitting baskets in the first game between the 2 at 9 for 16. Vasquez has a very short rest. He's back in. Hayes to Cliff Tucker. Gravis Vasquez. 1 triple-double on the season. Nearly got a second one last night. We got a whistle and a foul on Lance Thomas, who struggles to keep up with the quicker Vasquez.
Talk about all the switching, and for the most part, Duke's bigs have the ability to switch out and defend out on the perimeter, both Singler and Thomas. But Vasquez, because of his ball handling ability, saw he had the mismatch, pressed the advantage, got the foul.
Milborn out, Dave Neal in. Ball knocked out there by Henderson. Before the clock moved an inch. Woman of the world scoreboard, Florida State by 3 over top-ranked North Carolina. They'll go to the championship round of the ACC tournament for the first time in their history since they've been in the conference in 1992.
Kind of fitting that Sam Cassell was sitting ringside right for that.
Yep. Here's Hayes. Shot clock now down to 10 for Maryland. Vasquez glances at it, takes the deep 3 and hits it.
Wow. Hey, just what a possession. Really not a lot going on for Maryland. 30 seconds in, and all of a sudden your superstar rises up and buries a 3.
And Lance Thomas, who was guarding him, is looking, well, okay, who's in back of me? Bam, it's gone. Elliott Williams now with the ball on the wing. Freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee.
They're just daring him to shoot right now. Vasquez giving him all sorts of room on the perimeter. They respect his ability to drive.
Plus he missed his first 3 jump shots. Shire into the corner, Singler. 6 on the possession. Into the paint, Singler misses. Well, it looks like they set that zone up again. Vasquez throws it out. Dave Neal lost control of it down the lane.
Yeah, not his game. Creating a dribble drive.
5th turnover for Maryland. At the 7-17 mark, a game that has had a pretty quick pace to it. Shire. We got a whistle. He stepped on the sideline out of bounds. Fourth Duke turnover. Gravis Vasquez for the Maryland Terrapins. Get things going. Had a big three. Thomas checks his location. The win's right for Vasquez. Maryland stalking Duke. They're down by 2. Duke by 2, 18-16, 7:06 left to go in this first half. Steve Martin here along with Mike Dumensky. And there's the Skeeter Francis Award winner, the legendary broadcaster of the Duke Blue Devils, Bob Harris, longtime voice for all of their championships. Matthew Lawrence camped out next to him.
Bob, dear friend, is calling games when I first got there. Not to date him at all.
Or you.
Or me, or both. Just outed both of us, I think.
Well, it's good to see Jim Spinarco honored as a legend. Duke received that honor. Here's Vasquez. Offense bunched up pretty tight on the man-to-man. Here's Vasquez up and under. Looks like it was blocked by Singler and left out of bounds. It's going to be Maryland ball. 8 on the shot clock. Coming up at halftime, Mike Hogwood will bring you all the analysis, highlights, and stats on the Hardy's halftime report. So stay with us. That's just 6.5 minutes away. Vasquez off the inbounds.
He could be heading to one of those 30-point nights, Steve. He has hit some unconventional shots in this game. We talked about his shooting percentage being down this year, but he has seen a big basket so far in this game.
9 points for Gravis Vasquez. 3 for 4 from the floor. He has a three-pointer in that mix as well. Got a whistle on the foul. It's going to be on Cliff Tucker.
Foul number 24. Cliff Tucker. That's his first
15th foul on the Maryland Terrapins. Again, a look at the Goodman of the World scoreboard. Tennessee leading Auburn in the second half down in Tampa, the ACC Tournament. Florida State's already won here against top-seeded North Carolina. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it is going to be Maryland ball.
Now, the guy that really gives his team confidence, we talked about Gerald Henderson, has been struggling in this game, Steve. Not got any rhythm to his jump shot. 1 of 6 so far to start the ball game.
He's not alone, Mike. Duke shooting 26%. Vasquez backs up. No. Shire couldn't handle the rebound. Gets back. It went between his legs, and he turned around and was still there.
He's upset with himself, too, that he didn't come out cleanly with the basketball.
Henderson. Maryland has only shown zone once. Now we got a whistle and a foul coming up.
42 jumps over in front.
That's going to be on Lance Thomas.
The second time a front court player for Duke has gotten rung up for a moving screen. Zubek getting one earlier. Thomas that time. Again, to emphasize, you have to be stationary and let the other man use you.
Thomas takes the seat. Moore takes his place. It's been over 4 minutes since the Duke Blue Devils scored. They're tied with Maryland here at 18. Vasquez. Henderson out on him on a switch. Bowie drives on Smith and scores. Count the basket plus the foul on Duke. Shire will get the foul. Bowie gets the basket. What a move by Adrian Bowie.
He's been aggressive, Steve. He is really looking for his shot here early in the game. It's his 8th field goal attempt of the game. Nice finish with the left hand as well. He is a very, very strong guard, not afraid to go into the lane area.
There's Bowie, 4.5 points in this ACC tourney as he gets the free throw. Already has 8.
Yeah, already doubled that up. He and Vasquez carrying them offensively.
Shire against pressure. Maryland with 8 unanswered points. And that sounds like a lot, but considering the fact that it's been over 4.5 minutes since Duke has scored. Singler. Now Maryland looks like it's a matchup zone.
Yeah, they're drifting around. They're playing man. They're just sagging off and helping.
Singler for 3. He leads Duke with 9. Tied up at 21.
Just like last night, we talked about Boston College. He really carried them through a severe drought in the first half.
Here's Mosley attacking the baseline. Working our way down to 4.5 minutes left in this first half. Merrill. Vasquez with the ball. Neal over the rim for 2 after he set a huge screen.
And he clobbered Smith again.
He did. Smith is kind of limping. He took it hard on the hip. But Neal gets the screen, then rotates for the basket. We have a timeout on the court. Maryland up here by 2. There's Dave Neal. We talk a lot about this young man who's made a rapid progression in his senior season. Leadership, from a leadership standpoint, you want him to set a screen. He's got the 3-ball down to a certain extent.
Well, and Steve, you look at it with the departure of Bombali Osby and James Gist, there's minutes opened up in the front line, and he has really stepped up. 8 points, 4 rebounds on average. 19 points in his senior game against Wake Forest.
I don't know how coaches score it. The assistant coaches may have a term for it. Knockdown screens. He's got 2 already.
Equivalent to the pancake in football.
Exactly. Hollis now at the point. To Gerald Henderson and Mosley. Very aggressive defensively. Here's Henderson. Singler for 3. Wow. Second triple in a row from Kyle Singler, who leads Duke with 12. Blue Devils by 1.
He's got to do a better job, Maryland, and you think with a smaller team that they would be able to cover out on the 3-point shooter with Singler.
Neal drops it to Mosley. Defense by Henderson to stop the quick shot. Got a timeout on the court with 3:37 left to go. A defensive struggle between the Duke Blue Devils and the Maryland Terrapins having at it here. Looking to see who's going to join Florida State in Sunday's championship game. Right now, Duke leads Maryland by a point.
Scott Przwanski back with you in Atlanta and joined by a Duke great. Danny Ferry, of course, went on to 2 Final Fours, a National Player of the Year. But I want to talk about tournament time with you. What makes it so much fun to play this time of year?
Well, I think for the fans, for the players, everyone, the fact that it's single elimination, you're 1 and out in this tournament, and then when you get it to NCAA as well, and anything can happen. Games take a life of their own.
And they took a life that you liked while you were playing too.
Yeah, it was great. Playing in the tournaments it's unbelievably fun. These 3 days in a row, for example, these teams that get to the finals have to play. These guys will be exhausted by the end of it, but it's a good exhaustion.
Danny, I couldn't do this interview with you without asking you about Mike Jaminski, my partner over here. What can you tell me about G-Man that folks don't know that you can say on live TV?
There's really not much I can say on live TV. There's a lot of stuff that you'd have to have your editors and everything take care of, so we really can't do that.
You're a good man. Thanks so much for your time.
Danny Ferry now trying to figure out if they've got any money left to play LeBron James after 2010.
he's got that. I think that's more of a concern of his than any stories about me.
Milburn from the arc has his first basket of the afternoon.
But he has done a terrific job with that franchise.
Sure has.
Making them one of the best in the Eastern Conference.
They got a big offseason acquisition and a guy by the name of Mo Williams to help LeBron score. Here's Hollis for 3.
And that's his worst, Steve. I mean, he leaves his heart out on the floor. There have been a lot of things said about what Greg Paulus can't do, and he has had to endure a tough senior year. But he can shoot the 3. That's never been questioned.
27-25. Duke going to lead by 2. Here's Vasquez, who's having a big day, along with Singler guarding him. Singler takes a flop, no call. Out front, Hayes aims for 3. Got it.
And there's the Greg Paulus of Maryland. I mean, Eric Hayes is almost the same type of player. A control type of point guard, not a great athlete, but man, you give him an open look and he will knock it down. Good pump fake that last time.
And the difference really in Maryland is when he moved off to the bench and came in as a reserve, helping out. Now they're going to take a look at the replay and see if it is a 3 or a 2 by Eric Hayes. Mike Woods, Ray Natilli will do the effort over there. They're joined by Gary Maxwell today on the crew. There's Eric Hayes.
Yeah, that's a 3. It looked like he towed it in on that right foot.
It's a 3. He's this far behind it. He's behind it. Let's go.
There you go. Mike Wood. There you go. This far behind it, whatever that measurement is. 3 ball puts Maryland on top here, 28-27. Let's have a look at our Haviland defensive shield. Turnover margin. Maryland thrives on forcing steals. They're second only to Duke. Number 1 in that department at 4.2. Both of these teams, Maryland averaging 8 steals and Duke 8.7. Here comes Paulus, drives, misses the tip in. Wait, no basket. Basket interference. No basket. Singler touched it in the ring.
But this is why there's some confusion. Everybody looking over at the Maryland bench. Paulus recognized that it had a wide open layup and couldn't finish. Good call. That ball's still in the cylinder.
Goes back to Maryland. Terrapins up by 1. Hayes gave up the dribble.
That was almost a layup line dribble.
He double dribbled actually. Here comes Neal. And we got a whistle and a foul coming up. It's going to be on Neal for setting the screen.
As he turned to hand the ball off, he stuck his butt out in the way, and that's an illegal screen.
And that's the 5th team foul now on the Maryland Terrapins. Actually, team foul number 6. And the first on Neal. Shire comes down to the front court. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Great first half for these two teams. Maryland by a point. Singler steps in. Shire wants the 3. No. A whistle and a foul. A pushing foul on Nolan Smith, I believe. No, it's going to be on Singler. That'll be his first.
That call came from Gary Maxwell across the way from the other side of the play.
Closed captioning for today's telecast provided by Bojangles. You've got to want to need to get ahead of Bojangles. Under a minute and a half left to go here in the first half of play. Maryland maintains that 1-point lead. Hayes has the ball taken from him. Nolan Smith to Henderson. Henderson's second basket of the day. It's our 9th lead change, and Duke by 1.
One of the few open opportunities they've had because of their defense. Hayes just kind of slipped on that play last time down.
Vasquez turns in the lane. His defender falls off, but he travels.
Second time they've called him on that spin dribble and a travel in the lane.
8th turnover for Maryland now.
Yeah, Steve, if he can execute this, I mean, this is a good way with all the switching. 1, 2. Oh, that was close.
He is, I guess, where was the pivot foot? Inconclusive from that footage there. 50 seconds left to play. Duke by 1. Shire for 3. Got it. Duke missed their first 4 3-pointers. They have gone 6 of 8 beyond the arc since. Shire with the latest that gives Duke a 4-point edge. Time to update our Verizon Wireless text of war poll. We're asking you, the question is, who will lead his team in most stat categories? And it's Vasquez versus Singler. And right now, Kyle Singler's the leader, 55 to 45%. Add your voice to the vote. Text your answer, A1 or A2 to 55333. And thanks for participating in Verizon's text of war.
Well, Steve, right now Singler is leading them in points with 12, rebounds with 6, and assists with 2. And there's just a little drop-off. Singler with the penetrations. Shire coming right behind him for the open 3. And it has been the 3 ball that has kept Duke in the lead in this game. 6 of 12 for the ball game.
Singler now has 1,002 career points. He's the 4th player on the current roster at 1,000 plus.
About 5 seconds between shot and game clock.
Hayes with it. Paulus on him. He's one of those 4. Mosley to Milborn. Milborn. We got a whistle and a foul away from the play, and it's going to be on Paulus. And on Duke now, that's going to be their 7th team foul. It is the first on Paulus. We're headed to the line.
That play happened. Vasquez coming in. He was trying to get in on the post on Paulus.
He got caught for reaching around at Mosley, so Mosley goes to the line for 1-and-1. Baskley has 2 on today. He's averaging 9 points in this tournament. Had 12 in the win over Wake Forest last night.
Steve, neither team excelling offensively in this game. Some pretty good D being played, and a little similar to the BC game last night. But that being said, Maryland in a much better position in this game than they were in the game in Cameron.
Oh, definitely. They were down 40 to 15 at the half.
Yeah, this game much more like the one up in Maryland.
Unfortunately, in Maryland, they gave up a huge edge on the boards as well. Something like 58 to 39. 32-30, Duke in the lead here. 7 seconds left to go. Shot clock gone, obviously. Here's Henderson. At the foul line, it'll be short, and the first half will come to an end. As Mike said, it's been a defensive struggle. Well-played defensive game from these two teams. Mike Krzyzewski wants better offensive execution, and Gary Williams will look more of the same. As the Duke Blue Devils lead Maryland in the fight to find out who faces Florida State in tomorrow's championship. Halftime with Mike Hogwood is next. ACC Basketball is being brought to you by Ruby Tuesday, by your Carolina Jeep dealers, by Haviland, by Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, and by Toyota. ACC Basketball presented in high definition. We're available by MFS Investment Management, a diverse range of products so advisors can choose what fits. You're looking at the Atlanta Aquarium nearby our facility here at the Georgia Dome. ACC semifinal action, our second game of the day. Duke 32-30 over Maryland. Our Scott Brzezwanski had an opportunity to chat with Maryland head coach Gary Williams just a few moments ago.
What did you tell your club to win this second half here?
Well, you know, I think we can play better, but it's a 2-point game, so if we can play a little better, I think we can do something, so we'll see what happens.
They're 6 of 12 from 3. Is that something you'll stress, getting out on the shooters?
Well, of course, you know, we don't want them to shoot threes, so we're going to try to do something about it, but Singler's a great player. He's had a couple, and Shire's a pretty good player, so you're not going to shut them down every time, but we're aware of it, so we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Gary Williams talking to our Scott Brzezwanski.
He's got a couple good Mike Kaminsky stories. I'm surprised Scott didn't ask him.
I do too, but like Danny Ferry, they got to stay between you and I. All right, first half leading scorers, Singler with 12, including 2 3-pointers. And as we told you, he crossed the 1,000-point mark for Duke. And of course, for the Maryland Terrapins, Gravis Vasquez leading the way.
It'll be interesting to see. Again, I made the point at the top of this game, Steve, about the fact that this is the 3rd game in 3 days for Maryland. Does it take effect on them now in the second half and get into their legs a little bit? Neither team has shot the ball particularly well up to this point.
Shire out front with Henderson, Thomas, Singler, and Elliott Williams. Neal, Milborn, Mosley. Shot goes nowhere by Singler. Mosley, Vasquez, Milborn, Neal, and Bowie for Maryland to start the second half.
See if Williams gets a little more longer tour of duty out here. He had a couple of early misses on some 4 shots. Didn't see a lot of time. Greg Paulus saw most of the time and back up.
Good defensive game by both of these teams. Here's Neal attacking. And the rebound comes away to Singler. Rebound number 6 for Kyle Singler to go with his 12 points. Shire in the corner. Steps out for 3. It doesn't go. Rebound comes away to Vasquez. The outlet to Bowie. Maryland on the run. Short pass, Milborn gets around, misses, but the rebound by Sean Mosley.
Again, 6'4", but very powerfully built, Steve. We talked about he spends a lot of time in the lane, not afraid to go in, battle with the bigger players.
Having a strong tournament at 9 points and 4.5 rebounds. And those are averages, obviously. 12 points last night against Wake Forest.
That has been a good move for Gary Williams. And you touched on it, inserting him into the starting lineup and bringing Eric Hayes off the bench.
Henderson with a turnaround. Good stretch for the rebound for Williams. Nice cut by Henderson. Can't pay it off. A stick back by Thomas won't work. Bowie back the other way. Bowie with the drive. It's up and in by Mosley again.
You talked about it. There's a huge deficit in both of the games for Maryland on the boards, but right now they are winning that battle and they're getting second chance points. They are a +6.
21-15 on the boards, 34-32 on the scoreboard in favor of Maryland. Henderson. Mosley on him. He gets away, but a foul on Sean Mosley. We probably ought to start watching Mosley a little more on defense here. Probably one of the reasons why Henderson hasn't been able to get off. You know, there's nothing like college basketball, and if you're celebrating the win, do it right. The way you celebrate says a lot about you and reflects on your school, so be responsible. Take care of yourself and your friends. A message from Anheuser-Busch.
And Steve, he is really the perfect body type to match up with Henderson. He's got the strength to stay with him inside and also the speed and quickness to go on the perimeter.
Shire for three. John Shire drills the 7th three of the game for the Duke Blue Devils, who retake the lead 35-34. 9 points for Shire. Vasquez. Here's Neal. The cut by Bowie. Defended well by Shire, but recovered. Out to Mosley. In a bid to get the last 3 baskets for Maryland. It falls short. Henderson elevates. Got a good screen, but couldn't use it. Williams on the deck. Jump ball. Possession arrow. Maryland.
A good hustle by Williams, but just not able to keep his feet inside. He has a double-figure rebounding game this year, so plays well on the glass. But Henderson just has not been able to find his stroke at all in this game.
Henderson 2 of 11 to illustrate your point. He'll take a seat here as McClure comes in.
And just think about it a little bit. And Mike Krzyzewski saying, all right, if you're not going to be scoring points for us, we're going to get a defender out on the floor and see if McClure can make some things happen, do some intangible things.
We've seen McClure do that before.
There's not a lot of scoring with this unit out on the floor for Duke. Singler and Shire really are their best offensive weapons.
Vasquez. Mosley drops to Vasquez. Double teamed and fouled by Elliott Williams. But the point about McClure is well taken because, Mike, they're shooting 33%, so there's a bevy of rebounds out there.
Yeah, and, you know, he's a guy that arguably one of their better offensive rebounders, so he's going to be able to recycle plays for you.
Everyone comes in.
Get out of here.
Vasquez. Mosley at the top, guarded by Shire, makes his move. Powers in, traveled with the ball. Good thing for Shire because he was about to score, and did in essence.
Here's the play, and again, forcing him to his offhand. Yeah, good call. Just that one extra step inside. Again, going to your weak hand. Make somebody beat you with the weakness.
Shire has Hayes on his shoulder. Nolan Smith. Williams on the wing.
See, this is almost like a summer league game. We can't find any centers or power forwards, so let's just play a bunch of guards. Both teams.
Singler inside, has his shot blocked. Waits to the defense to clear, and taking the ball away, Dino Gregory. Vasquez. Who's got it? Milbourne can't score it. Close range. Vasquez, no. Milbourne, no. Mosley recovers.
3 games in 3 days.
It's finally rearing its head.
That's what that looks like.
Screen and roll. Nice screen by Milbourne. The switch puts McClure on Vasquez, and the ball glances off Mosley's hands and out of bounds. The Botanical Gardens reminding us that spring is on the way, just like the ACC Tournament. Semifinal game led by Duke. Maryland playing their third game in as many days. Game 1 was a Thursday first-rounder over NC State. Eric Hayes with 5 3-pointers off the bench at a career-high 21. Game 2 next night, last night. Quarterfinals against Wake Forest. Gravis Vasquez, not only from outside, but inside. Rolled up a near triple-double. Led all scorers with 22. And that's how Gary Williams' team finds themselves locked in a semifinal duel with the Duke Blue Devils. Their first matchup in the semifinals of the ACC tournament since 2001. And Duke won that battle 84-82. Back in the years when Duke and
they've actually surpassed North Carolina as the rivalry of the time in the ACC when they were contending for national championships. Duke winning in 2001. Maryland coming down here into this building the next year and getting Gary Williams his first title.
Singler out front now. 5 minutes gone in the second half. These two teams have combined for 3 of 17.
Those are some classic battles, Steve. Shane Battier and Mike Dunleavy and Juan Dixon and from Maryland, Lonnie Baxter,
Steve Blake,
Chris Wilcox. Great talent on the floor.
Singler's man fell down. He didn't see it in time to shoot. 3 on the shot clock. Nolan Smith gets one on the buzzer. The rebound, Williams up and in.
Boy, that's, you know what, he has done a terrific job in the second half here. It's a couple of offensive rebounds now and recycles that he's gotten. Teams are playing off him, daring him to shoot jump shots, but he is much better around the rim.
Duke by 3, ball picked loose, and a foul on Williams, and that's going to be 2.
2-0, Battier.
And it's going to be a second team foul on the Duke Blue Devils.
Second team foul.
And our Verizon Wireless text of war, we asked who will lead his team in more stat categories, Gravis Vasquez or Kyle Singler. Singler in the lead. And you can add your voice to the vote, A1 or A2 to 55333. Thanks for participating. Mosley inside, can't get it to work. And Mike, you brought it up, and now that they've missed something like 5 or 6 straight shots, then maybe the strain of the third day. There are the numbers on our Alltel Text of War participants. Mosley back into backcourt now as Maryland winds it up again. Gravis Vasquez, shadowed there by Shire. Takes the 3. Rebound, Elliott Williams.
He's been a man on the glass on both ends of the floor. And as this game winds on for Maryland, you have to think those long jump shots are going to be tougher and tougher to convert.
4 rebounds already for Elliott Williams. Shire on the wing for 3, and he's fouled as he let it go. Eric Hayes fouled Shire on a 3-point shot, so 3 shots coming.
Really a well-devised play. It was a little flare screen. Thomas stepping up and getting Shire enough room, and then Hayes, instead of just getting the pressure, follows through with the hand and causes the foul.
Duke shooting better from the 3-point line at 7 of 15 as opposed to 5 of 21. Duke heads and shoulders above the rest in 3-point attempts in the ACC. Shire hits the free throw, has 7. He's got 2 more. As Eric Hayes committed the mortal sin for defenders, do not foul the jump shooter.
Especially against a guy like Shire, who's so solid at the line, 83%, 7th in the conference.
Brings up 3. Biggest lead of the game now for Duke at 6. Up court, here's Mosley. Tries to get it to Gregory, finally does. Gregory with a wild one. We got a whistle and a push.
He's been warned. 42.
And the foul is going to be on Lance Thomas.
Foul to number 42, Lance
That's his
Thomas.
third.
His third team foul.
Duke's third, and 2 shots coming for Dino Gregory. Sophomore out of Baltimore, Maryland. Mount St. Joseph High School.
52% from the line, so everybody needs to be aware on the blockouts on the free throw line, especially on the second line with Shire and Williams.
Gregory in the tournament averaging 6 points and 6.5 rebounds. Corrects the second one. Maryland down by 5, putting up full court pressure. Singler to Williams.
and more token pressure. I mean, Maryland is usually in this game has just been looking for one trap, and then they fall out of it.
Haven't shown much zone. Maybe 2 possessions of it in this game. It's been mostly man-to-man for Maryland. They've got Mosley now on Shire. Here's Singler, blocked in the lane by Gregory and Milborn, and then it fell out of bounds. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Yesterday's quarterfinal games were decided by 17 total points. It was the second smallest average margin in history. But boy, did we have a day of emotion here.
Who would have thought the blowout, per se, would have been Maryland against Wake Forest?
By 11. DC with a 1-point win. Shire with 3 on the shot clock. Rims out. Thomas goes up, but he can't contain it. Bowie ahead of the field. And with Smith back, he scores. Adrian Bowie is the leading scorer for Maryland now with 10.
Well, unless you guess correctly and take the charge with a guy coming at you with a full head of steam, that's a tough play for Nolan Smith to defend.
Shire on the wing. Screen from Thomas. Smith heads in. Oh, nice reverse flip by Nolan Smith.
Yeah, very strong. I mean, both teams understand there are no shot blockers out there.
Bowie pulls his way in. The throw out to Vasquez. 42-37, Duke in the lead. Vasquez down the lane. Duke doing a good job covering out the shooter.
Well, and both teams can switch everything.
Vasquez, no. Gregory tried to dunk. Ball out of bounds. Just getting to certain 2. McClure and Henderson step in. Stepping off, Williams and Thomas for Duke. Eric Hayes to do the inbound. There's Henderson. Bowie with Singler on him. Bowie. Gregory, no. Smith for the rebound for Duke.
Right, I think that was the move to get McClure in. They just Mike Krzyzewski not happy about the board work on the defensive end of the floor. Too many second chance opportunities for Maryland, and McClure actually tipped that one to Smith.
Smith finds Gerald Henderson. We're going to whistle away from the action, and it's going to be on Dino Gregory. Gregory picks up his second foul. Watch Nolan Smith use all of his capacity to score that basket, and Duke now leads Maryland by 5.
Scott Przwanski back with you in Atlanta. We've got the ACC Coach of the Year here, Leonard Hamilton. Guys have moved on into the finals, and one of the main reasons why has been the play of your senior, Tony Douglas. He's just been outstanding.
Tony's had an outstanding year for us, and even though he's played well on the court, he's given us tremendous leadership off the court, which probably made a significant difference in how much progress we've made.
Coach, you, of course, played Duke twice, 2 close games. You lost one against Maryland. Your thoughts against either one of these guys tomorrow?
It doesn't really seem to matter. If you're playing against a team that has ACC on their uniform, that means it's going to be a good opponent, and it's going to be a tough game for you. There have been so many games that have gone right down to the wire that have been decided in the last 3 or 4 minutes of every game that you know everybody you play with, it's going to be a tough game.
Coach, appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Leonard Hamilton, along with our Scott Przwanski, taking Florida State to the ACC championship game for the first time in school history. This was only their second trip to the semifinals. Their first one was their first year in the league.
Yeah, this is the matchup zone you're looking at, Steve.
Shire surveys it. Nolan Smith to Shire again. 10 on the shot clock. Shire steps through and gets it. Biggest lead of the game.
We talked about it. He's not the most athletic-looking guy in the world, but he has got an uncanny knack for getting in and getting shots up near the rim and getting fouled.
Has 11 points, 1 behind teammates Kyle Singler for the scoring lead. Vasquez has been bottled up in the second half.
Yeah, he's been very, very quiet.
Until now.
Yep. So good getting to that right hand. Kind of an unconventional shot, but as tall as he can get that shot against most guards.
He's at 6'6". 44-39. Duke in the lead. Here's the shot by Shire for 3. Singler with a huge rebound. Stripped of the ball by Hayes, recovered by Henderson, and stolen by Neal. Vasquez, 3-on-2 break. The trailer is Neal.
Well, Duke has not been getting a lot of those calls. Referees are saying stand up, Good play by Neal in the finish on the break.
30-second timeout now expands to a full with 10:16 left to go in the second half. Duke's lead has been cut to 3. Want to see highlights of today's game? Check out the Haviland ACC Basketball Highlights now online. Each week you can view action from all Raycom ACC basketball telecasts and other archived video. Log on to raycomsports.com or the ACC.com for these clips and more from around the ACC. Crowd in apprehension of what's happening here. Duke 44-41. We've had a pretty well-attended tournament here. Great crowds in here for the quarterfinal. Really solid crowd here today. Smith, Shire for 3. Henderson gets the rebound, but we got a foul. And Cliff Tucker was in the middle of that mess down low, and he knocked Singler to the floor.
That's one of the few times that in this half that Duke has been able to come up with an offensive rebound. They've been around the basketball, but it seems like Maryland has come out of there with it.
Maryland had 10 offensive rebounds, but not much to show for it on the glass, shooting 17%. Something like 3 for 17 to start the second half.
And this seems to be when this zone is most effective, when Vasquez is at the point. Spends a lot of time digging down into the low post.
Singler attacks. The rebound comes down to Eric Hayes. Maryland's a 3-point shot away from the lead. Hayes finds Vasquez. His man's gone. Henderson covers up on Hayes to prevent the 3. Duke switches off and pushes Maryland further out. 10 on the shot clock. Vasquez across to Hayes. Block. McClure on the scene.
Yeah, a great switch out and a great lunge. A lot of times it's very difficult to block a jump shooter, especially deep in the corner.
1 on the shot clock for Maryland. It's the pass, and the shot's got to go away. It goes from Neal. Shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
It's going to be Duke ball. Gary Williams frustrated that his team took so long to the 10-second mark to get a play constructed, let alone a shot at the rim. See Tennessee a winner over Auburn today, the ACC tournament.
Tennessee and Mississippi State in the final.
And Tampa. Oh, big 3-pointer for Henderson. He's got 7. Duke's leads back at 6.
And that has really saved Duke in this game. Their 3-point shooting now 8 of 19.
Timeout call by Maryland. Gary Williams upset with that turnaround, both offensively and at the other end defensively, where Henderson hit from the corner.
And that's, you know, as poorly as this game is being, the ball is being shot, that's a big lead. You know, we're talking 6, it's almost like 4 possessions.
Duke 47-41. We mentioned the last time that these two teams met in a semifinal was 2001. Right here, Steve Blake hit the jumper with 8.5 remaining to tie the score at 82. And then Duke went right down the floor. Nate James, who's on the Duke staff, put back. But Jason Williams missed to put Duke up by 2. Terps pushed the ball up the floor. Juan Dixon's shot barely misses. Duke escapes 84-82. Sheldon Williams at 20, Battier with 19, and it was just one of those matchups between Duke and Maryland that dominated the early part of this decade.
And they went on that year to meet in the semifinals of the NCAA tournament, and Maryland getting out to a big lead, Duke coming back and winning, and eventually winning the national championship.
As you said in the first half, Maryland will get their chance coming out of the tournament on this floor.
I've never seen tickets so coveted, Steve. I mean, the Duke-Carolina rivalry is, but in those years when Maryland would come to Cameron Indoor Stadium, it was an incredible ticket demand. Everybody wanted to be at that game.
Nolan Smith has picked up a foul. It's going to be his second. That's the 4th team foul now on Duke. Inbounds, it's Vasquez. Duke leading here by 6. Vasquez over Smith. Second basket of the second half.
They needed him to step up and start flexing his muscles, and he's using his size to shoot over the top of the Duke guards.
13 for Vasquez. There's that point zone now. Shire in the corner. Smith surveys it from the top. Maryland used this 3-2 set to upset Wake Forest last night. Shire shoots for 3, and he hits it.
Yeah, he's the guy that you can't let free of the perimeter players right now. Singler, probably their other best three-point shooter.
17 points for John Shire.
You're on the perimeter of that zone. You have to identify where number 30 for Duke is.
50-43, Duke in the lead. 10 3-pointers, 9 3-pointers they've hit today. Vasquez all the way around. Tries to find Neal, gets it himself. Duke gets a loose ball. Henderson on the run. Splits the defenders, misses. The stick pack is stuck. It's a held ball, so possession goes to Duke. On amazing turn of events in what has been an amazing ACC tournament. We've got more to come. Duke by 7 over Maryland.
It was Kyle Singler in the first half, and it's been John Shire in the second half. A little step back 3 right there. Last night he took all of his shots from behind the arc. He has ventured inside the line one time tonight, but he is seeing a big basket. Got fouled on a 3-pointer earlier and went in some 3 free throws. But he is carrying the offense right now, Steve. 17 points, 5 of 10, 4 of 9 from behind the arc.
And 11 of Duke's 18 points in the second half. Blue Devils here leading 50-43, 7:24 left to go. Winner takes on Florida State in the ACC Championship game tomorrow afternoon. McClure gets inside on the inbounds play and lost the ball. Turnover number 10 for Duke. Vasquez. Feeds the post, Milborn. Dave Neal, the runner, no. McClure secures a loose ball. Henderson out on the march. Shire for 2.
Now I think you're beginning to see the effects, really, Steve, of that third game in 3 days. We're looking at the last 7 minutes here. Getting rushes up the floor, and the shooting percentage for Maryland is going down.
52-43. 9-point lead is the largest margin of the game for Duke. Milborn. Oh, 2 players collide. McClure and Mosley. No foul.
Both are looking for standing 8 counts right now, right into each other. Out of contact.
Mosley feeling his left elbow as if he might have hurt it. 5 on the shot clock now for Maryland. Bowie. Smith hits the deck. Boy, there's some heavy contact going on underneath it. Away from the ball on the rebounding action. Duke can get this thing into double figures with 6 to play. McClure on his way in, and he does it.
Wow, and those are found points. So he's a guy that doesn't score a lot on his own, but saw he had Dave Neal and broke him down off the dribble.
The Duke Blue Devils pull out to an 11-point lead over a Terrapin crew that's starting to show its tiredness after its 3rd straight game here in the ACC tournament.
There's the play. I mean, both of them, it was just a basket cut, and they were both looking at the ball.
You see Mike Wood right there. There's no call to be made.
And they've been consistent, Steve. I mean, there have been no flops or no false calls allowed in this game. All 3 referees right on it, just saying play on unless there's a true foul.
And this crew is a crew that really talks to you. Here's McClure, kind of a surprise recipient of that pass.
Yep. Yeah, he was kind of surprised by it and then turned it into a positive. But you know, it's interesting through the microphones on the court. I've especially heard Mike Wood talking to guys out on the floor, and I think that's a good piece of refereeing. A lot of things get cleaned up that way.
Now, Jeep game summary: 3-point field goals the route for Duke to an 11-point lead. Shire is your leading scorer. No field goals in the last 4 and change.
I'm a big proponent of the referees playing beat cop out there. They can head off a lot of things by just talking to you.
Here's the steal by McClure. McClure in a foot race with Milborn, and the basket is good, plus the foul. 4 points by McClure may settle this thing at the 5:35 mark.
And you know, it's just amazing when I do their games and see what David McClure does out on the floor. He's not going to wow you with his stat line at the end, but he has such an impact on a game when he comes in. It's incredible.
Let's see, the reaction of the Duke bench that time down was really something as McClure goes to the free throw line. It's tipped, no basket. Kyle Singler in the cylinder again. You know, that might have fallen back in on its own.
If you're McClure, you're looking at him going, just let it play out.
Yeah.
You took a point away from me.
No, I don't get many.
I don't average 20 a game.
56-43. Here comes Hayes. The lean-in, just what the Terrapins need in a moment like this with 5.5 to go.
Nice move. I mean, he just gave a little juke with his left shoulder, and he got Shire leaning.
Still a double-digit lead now for Duke. The trap, midcourt.
This is about the time of the game now that Duke's going to get out. They're going to spread their offense, run some clock at about the 10-second mark.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Bowie. Duke ball with 16 on the clock. Mike Krzyzewski directing the traffic. That's Florida State's passport to the championship, taking out #1 North Carolina in our first semifinal of the day. Timeout. Henderson with no options now has to call a time.
And that's a
5:05 left.
And that's a play, Steve, that you really don't want to burn a timeout on. And this is a routine sideline out of bounds play, but nobody was coming strongly to the basketball.
Well, you got to figure that there's a second win coming for Maryland and a run possibly. And Mike Krzyzewski very conscious of that, trying to save all his timeouts for an endgame situation. You don't want to be deprived of them. Things going on in the Duke huddle as they start to contemplate taking time in the possession, as Mike suggested.
Well, and this is the thing, too, Stevie. We talk about Dave McClure, and he is giving them energy in this nice little run, and that's the primary thing, and that's what Gary Williams needs to find, somebody to come in and give his group a real bump right now.
Well, early in the second half, it was Sean Mosley, but he's on the bench.
You know, why do you play the regular season and what you hope to get in the tournament, and why do you want that bye? This is a perfect example of it right now.
Shire misses the three. The door is still open for Maryland here. Under 5 to play. Hayes ahead to Bowie. Adrian Bowie's played a solid game today with 10 points for the Terrapins. Hayes gets hard to the foul line, leans in and hits another. Back-to-back baskets by Eric Hayes have Maryland back in the hunt.
Yeah, he may be the guy to come in and give him a lift, although Duke, what they're doing is making him a 2-point shooter instead of a 3-point shooter, but he's taking what the defense gives.
And if their defense stops it at the other end, that's okay.
Yep.
4:20 left. Henderson pursued and fouled by Bowie. His first, that's team foul number 6. So we're closing in on the one-on-one. Next call down.
Don't say there's immediate timeout.
You really have to admire the job that Gary Williams and his group has done defensively on Gerald Henderson. He has been bottled up in this game, only 7 points, 3 of 13 shooting.
Again, they've trapped Shire. The ball is loose. Nolan Smith recovers. Boy, Nolan Smith has been in the right place at the right time for Duke here in the second half. Nice reverse layup.
It's an act right there that will go unnoticed in the stat sheet, but he keeps the possession alive.
Under 4 to play. Shot clock down to 10. Henderson on the move from the elbow. No. Vasquez with the rebound. So they got the stop. Here's Bowie centering the ball. Ball lost on the baseline. Recovers. And it's off Henderson and out of bounds. Timeout on the court, 3:38 to play. FanFest, one of the many activities here at the ACC tournament. Duke in the lead in our semifinal by a 9 over Maryland. Gary Williams coming out. He knows he's got to give his team all the motivational tools they can handle for its 3rd game in 3 days. What's their resume look like for the NCAA tournament? Well, last night's win over Wake gave them their 20th win.
20th win, and strength of schedule very, very good. The RPI kind of right on the bubble. 4 good wins against top 50 teams. You see against North Carolina, Michigan State, the win against Michigan, and then last night against Wake Forest. Again, I'll reiterate, the 7-9 conference record not great, but I think they've done enough to get in. I really believe that.
Rivas Vasquez looking to inbounds here. They've got the stop on one end, trying to get the pop here. Vasquez fouled. And the foul's going to be on Nolan Smith. That's going to be his third. It's team foul number 6 for Duke.
It was interesting to see Gary Williams at that timeout. If he were a jockey, he'd have a whip. He'd be going to it right now and trying to get his horse home through the last 3.5 minutes.
They're about 2 lengths off the pace right now, and Vasquez can help him catch up here. But time's becoming a factor. Vasquez with the free throw.
He's been very quiet second half. Both he and Singler have they've had big first halves. Singler no points this half. Shire carrying the load for Duke.
Vasquez in and out. The lead remains at 8. 3:32 left to play. This broadcast is a copyrighted presentation, and the use of it without the express permission of Raycom Sports and the ACC is prohibited. Steve Martin, Mike Jumenski, Mike Hogwood, Scott Brzezwanski here at the Georgia Dome. 5th time Atlanta's played host to this tournament, and that's been a good one so far. Shire at the top. 10 on the shot clock now. Henderson pushed ever so slightly by Mosley. That's his second. 1-on-1 coming up here for Duke the rest of the way on the 7th team foul. Duke has a foul to give.
That was not a foul that Gary Williams wanted in that situation. Mosley just getting a little overextended, trying to close out on Henderson.
Mosley comes out. Gregory comes out. Louis back in.
First time to the line for Henderson. Let's see if he can shake off his shooting struggles and find some rhythm here. 3 of 14 in the game.
Maryland has not lost sight of where Gerald Henderson has been on the court at any time this afternoon. That's his 8th point. The lead is 9. Duke looking to make its 28th appearance in the ACC championship game. They've won 16 of it. Henderson misses the second. Rebound up for grabs. Dave Neal is the winner. Hayes quickly in the front court. Stops. Has the ball stripped. Lost out of bounds. Maryland ball. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Gary Williams in his 20th year at Maryland. Done a pretty good coaching job with a roster with only one guy. Well, nobody over 6'7", really.
I would say, Steve, this may be outside maybe the national championship game, but this may be his biggest challenge and maybe one of his best coaching jobs.
Bring a team that's kind of in transition talent-wise. Singler with the foul.
I'm sure he'll take a great deal of satisfaction if he, in fact, gets this group to the NCAA tournament.
Neal backs his way in, fires a clothesliner.
Wow, unconventional shot, but he had Nolan Smith on him, so was able to just get it over the top.
57-50. Neal has a way of making the unconventional look routine. 7-1 Maryland run. Duke knew it would come down to this. Singler out front. Smith with the handle. The shot clock's at 10.
Nice shot. Vasquez denying Henderson.
Singler has to come over with a screen. Smith has to make some move. A block shot by Bowie, taken by Vasquez. They run out 4-on-2. The wing is Hayes. Takes the 3. No. McClure with a big rebound for Duke.
Boy, that was good hustle by Shire. He knew that Hayes was going to be hunting the three-point line in transition. He went right to him. Hayes would have had a great look.
Under 2 to play. Duke with a 7-point lead, bidding to join Florida State in the final tomorrow afternoon. Singler with a handle up top. Shire now has it. Shot clock's at 10 again. Shire, screened by McClure. Shire, 2 on the shot clock. Smith, no. Rebound tip, Singler gets it. And a foul coming up on Maryland.
Huge offensive rebound for Kyle Singler. That was really a terrific defensive stand by Maryland for 34 seconds. They caused an off-balance shot, but they couldn't corral the rebound. Singler understanding that the ball normally is going to bounce on that side of the basket on that situation and just got the tip to himself.
Milborn with the foul, and Singler goes to the free throw line with 11 rebounds to go along with his 12 points. He has 9 double-doubles on the season. 1 rebound away from another one last night. It's the front half of a 1-on-1. That's his first point in the second half. Lead is 8 for Duke. It's been, as the score indicates, a defensive struggle between these two. Nobody's going to shoot north of 40% in this game. Singler. 14. The lead is 9. Minute 25 left to go. Hayes steps in and hits. Timeout coming up for Maryland. Hayes has 3 baskets now, Mike, in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, and normally, Steve, I mean, he is a spot-up jump shooter and plays off of Vasquez, but in each of those shots, he's done it off the dribble and gotten into the main area.
Hayes now with 11 points, had a strong tournament.
Here's the look, just kind of facing Shire up, the beautiful spin move. Terrific offensive play.
Double figures in each of his 3 games. 11 last night against Wake Forest, 21 on the opening night against NC State, and 11 here. There's the game reset. Maryland has a full timeout left. Neither team has a foul to give. Possession arrow to Maryland. Duke with a full and a 30.
Well, if you're going to foul people, you know, surprisingly, Singler of the group that's out on the floor is the poorest percentage at 71. Henderson next at 77. All the other primary ball handlers are north of 80.
Maryland will press full court.
I guess for now, your option is you want to get McClure or you want to funnel the ball to him.
Shire now. It goes to Henderson. There was a foul. No call. McClure underneath. Jam! David McClure puts his signature on this semifinal game.
That was a great play by Henderson to get it away just before the foul occurred. And I didn't know McClure was going to be able to get to the rim in time.
Three-pointer by Hayes. 4th straight field goal for Hayes. His 2nd triple of the afternoon. He closes to within 2 possessions with 56.3 seconds left to go.
Boy, Hayes has just put this team on his back offensively. Shire having to respect the dribble, and that was a good little separation step back 3.
You think Mike Krzyzewski woke up this morning thinking, well, I'm going to get 6 points from David McClure, and we're going to go to the final.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just, we talked about his worth rarely shows up other than rebounds, but that was a big-time play.
Well, we've had some fantastic finishes in this tournament so far. Probably one coming up tomorrow. In the quarterfinals, of course, North Carolina broke the hearts of Hokies everywhere as Tyler Hansbrough hits the shot and puts North Carolina up by 3. We weren't done yet. It was Kitchen, Derwin Kitchen, elevating Florida State past Georgia Tech into the semifinal. And then, of course, it's the Duke Blue Devils with Gerald Henderson hitting the game-deciding shot with a 1-point win over Boston College.
So, Steve, is it any more apparent the net worth of Ty Lawson to North Carolina with their what had transpired in this tournament?
Well, and then of course you look at what they didn't get out of Danny Green on top of that. He went 1 for 12 today and something like 3 for 20 on the tournament. Our Red Lobster, nothing but net shot of the game. It's McClure in the open court. That's his 3rd field goal of this second half. And you're going to look at the stretch of the ball game, Mike, when David McClure came in, got the surprise 2, got another basket, went to the foul line and missed, and then that dunk. That might be the decisive part of this game.
Right, and things really turned last night against Boston College when he came into the game too, Steve.
Hayes with a foul.
While harping on that point, but you can't look away from the obvious, and good things happen when he's on the floor. And if you'll notice on that play too, it was almost like Little League when you get stuck out right field. McClure was all the way down the floor. He wasn't close to the basketball.
But he's too valuable from a defensive and a rebounding standpoint to have off the floor.
Yeah, he's only 45%. Really, 9 of 20 has been to the free throw line all that much.
Duke 12 of 13 from the stripe. 1-on-1 coming here. Shire connects on the first. And he has 20 for the day. With Shire, it's going to be his 8th game of 20 or more this season. Second shot gives Duke an 8-point lead. 63-55, 47 seconds left to go. Hayes into front court. Can he do it again? He's got the ball. They're giving him a chance. He'll put it up. Guess what? Hayes with 16.
That's the toughest shot of all because he had to do it over Singler.
And now a foul coming up. Maryland can't be choosy now. They just got to foul somebody and send them to the line and hope they miss. Nolan Smith is the latest candidate. He's an 85% free throw shooter. This might be poetic justice to a degree for Smith to hit these free throws. He missed 3 games after taking the hard side of a David Neal screen in the last game between these two at College Park. 10 team fouls on Maryland now. Double bonus coming up for Duke the rest of the way.
This is a big free throw, making it a 3-possession game.
And he's successful. Smith with 8. Duke with some nuisance pressure just to take some time off the clock. Hayes down the lane. He'll score again. Eric Hayes with 18, and now a foul by Hayes on Shire with 24.8 seconds left to go.
And Nolan Smith, just the reach in that time, gave Hayes the room that he needed to get to the rim.
Hayes,
choose without fouling.
Strong tournament.
Kyle, you still have 2 timeouts now. Let's go, John.
Singler number 30.
Shevsky calling out the instructions to his club, telling him what's left for timeouts. Shire with a rare miss. He's 5 of 6. Duke is a team 15 of 18 from the line. Got the second. Shire with 21, 22. Hayes into front court, 20 seconds left to play. The lead is 6. Hayes banks it.
It's been like there's been nobody else out on the floor. He has been incredible.
20 points for Eric Hayes. Smith fouled on the inbounds by Bowie. It's a 4-point game, 2 possession with 15.4 seconds left to go.
Get it together.
Number 22, Adrian.
These two coaches coaching as hard as they can here in this semifinal game. The stakes are high for Maryland.
No foul.
Well, and it's, you know, in this situation, Steve, even without the timeouts, you've got veteran guards out there for Gary Williams, so you can get things in place.
Nolan Smith for 2. Has 9, his best scoring day since coming back from the injury. Suffered against Maryland, suffered a concussion. Nick's the second, 3-possession game now, 15 seconds left to go. Duke on the verge of joining Florida State in the final. Vasquez for 3. It rattles out. And with it, their last hope with 7.3 seconds left to go. Eric Hayes has had a phenomenal second half and a great tournament for Maryland. Vasquez, 3, blocked by Singler, knocked out of bounds by Maryland. It's going to be Duke ball.
Well, they got a nice lift, but Duke just a little bit too much in the tank. A much better defensive effort in the second half.
And Maryland will not foul. Rev up the buses. The championship game is set as the Duke Blue Devils will make their 28th appearance in an ACC championship as they have defeated the Maryland Terrapins in this semifinal game. Ahead of them, a game against Florida State, making their first entry into the championship game of the ACC. Gary Williams, Mike Krzyzewski mid-court as the two coaches talk about today's game. A hard-fought one, a defensive one, a low-scoring one, as our score indicates, 67-61. A lot of foul shots at the end, but the Duke Blue Devils, who have won 3 ACC tournaments coming out of the 3rd seed. They've been 3rd in this tournament 10 times. They're hoping a 4th is on the way tomorrow.
Steve, I don't know. That's going to be an interesting matchup for Duke. And it just Florida State is long, athletic. Tony Douglas is on a mission. That's going to present some real problems. And this, Duke has had trouble finding offense in this tournament. They find themselves the championship, but have played in 2 very low-scoring games.
And they're going to have to find it against a team, Mike, that has some pretty good size.
Yep.
Solomon Alabi, Uche Echefu, a very effective team, and one of the best defensive teams in the ACC. Well, Kyle Singler is standing by with our Scott Przwanski. Let's take you out to the floor.
Kyle, first up, about the 7-8 minute mark, you guys forged ahead by double digits. Did it seem like you were starting to wear them down a little bit?
Not necessarily. I mean, Maryland's they're a tough team. They're a hot team, and they're fighting for their lives this tournament. And you gotta give them credit. They never gave up. They played us tough, but when it got down to crunch time, we came up with some big plays.
You did make the plays down in crunch time, and you had to make a lot of free throws too, as Eric Hayes was just putting on his show. What's going on through your minds when you know, hey, we've got to be tough with the basketball and make our free throws down the stretch?
I thought we missed more than we should have. We were playing a tough physical game, and you're going to miss free throws when you play a type of game like that. But with Hayes, you're trying to take away threes, and when you try to take away stuff, sometimes you give them open lanes. So that's kind of what happened.
How's it feel now to head on into the finals? I know you got a chance for a championship tomorrow.
It's very exciting. This is one of our goals coming into the season, and we're playing pretty well right now, and we're just trying to keep this thing rolling.
Thanks so much, Kyle.
Thank you.
That's Kyle Singler. He's got the Duke Blue Devils moving on into the ACC Tournament-Finals. We've got much more to do here in Atlanta. Mike Hogwood will bring us through into Championship Sunday after these messages.